Alright, well, I'm heading to the build show in Austin. It is freaking snowy here. This is the first year they've done this show. It's geared more towards builders, I would say, but I do know of a few brands going that cater more towards carpenters and tradesmen. So I kind of wanted to just go and show you guys what I see. Yeah, we'll see if it's a hit or a miss. This is their first one ever, so it could go really right or it could go really wrong. We'll see. Off to the airport. Alright, here we go into the hall. Got Pella windows here. These are the steady set. These are those clips. I just did a whole house of these. Super nice. But just don't look at my time on the leaderboard. Too low.
Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
You mind if I use this as a prop real quick?
It's fine.
Awesome.
You want me to? You do what you want, or I can help you however you want.
I'm just gonna show the clips on the ground.
Okay, perfect.
So it's got the fold-out flange, and normally this would have. Oh, here we go. Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Right here.
I can push it back down on there if you want me to.
Yeah.
Pops right back in there.
So that's how you would set it, and that holds it down.
That's how you get it,
Yep.
and then you'll take them off once you need to deploy the fin.
Yep, and that keeps it down so you can slide it into the opening from inside, which is what we just did on that last project, which was delightful. This is how the clips will come out of the packaging, and you'll flip them around like that. It's actually a very pleasant experience. It's very satisfying. Let's see. So you can see the angles on this. Push this center tab up, and then it locks on that little notch right there. And then that's preset. This is for a 2x6 frame, and yeah, it's ready to roll. Screws in there. This up here is pretty cool too. When you can set the bottom in this, which is particularly useful for super heavy windows, which we had a lot of on that last house. You can set the bottom sill in there, stand it up, and these will kind of dig into that top header and lock this thing from tipping out. So you can literally tip it up. You got these set on both sides, and then that's not going anywhere. You can screw it off, obviously level and everything, and then from the exterior you can pull off these tabs, fold these flanges out, and get those taped up. Yeah, this is a really, really cool system.
Because our framing here is perfect, just like your framing on all your construction is always perfect and square. But if it's not, you've got a 1/4-inch gap down here. You can get an air shim in there, you can get a pry bar in there, additional shims to plumb and square that window up. Also, when you're done with the install, it's going to give you a perfect 1/4-inch gap at the bottom for foam and sealer. So now he's headed outside, he's headed up his extension ladder, which he loves, but he's only carrying a roll of flashing tape. Now he's pulling the fin protectors off. Boom. Got 3 of those. It also does come with a sill fin, which has little channels for water just in case. Now, again, no drill on the outside. He's pulling out his flashing tape. We're using gas tape here today because flashing tape's not cheap. He's going to seal those jams, top to bottom. He's going to tape that header. And guess what, folks? Aaron is done. How long was that?
Another thing that these windows have that's pretty cool is on the bottom, they've got these pre-fastened shims. These are 1/4-inch shims that'll just get you started right, so you can set it in your opening, check your level, screw it in the corner of your high side. You don't need to pry it up, level it or shim it or anything. Then you can just lift and level the other side. shim the center and the corner, and Bob's your uncle, ready to roll. So I'm walking through the show, honestly just looking for the booths that look entertaining to me. They're going to be doing some kind of keynote thing or something here. Not totally sure, but look at this production. It's just insane, top of the line stuff. They got the working hand stuff. I had to tell them a fun fact. This stuff actually tastes good. I'm embarrassed for knowing that, but it's delicious. Here we are at the Huber Prove It tour trailer. It's pretty cool. I guess we should sign some stuff. So this trailer is pretty cool. They've got all sorts of goodies in here. This is a pretty cool Airtight demonstration. They've got the plastic over this. There's a fan running inside that right now. Here's the same thing on a typical house wrap. They don't like it just when people say specific names, but Tyvek versus Zip. You can see, I mean, there's lots of, I can collapse the air out and it just fills right back up. So that's pretty cool to see. I do know all the builders we work with that are super concerned with air tightness prefer Zip. If they don't feel like spending $1 million on tape for a passive house. This is also pretty cool. Just running water directly over Zip system. This is another advantage. This is what I tell people when we're bidding a framing job, is that if you get Zip for the roof and for the walls, then your house is dried in by the time we're done installing windows. You don't need to get your roofers to paper it before it's dried in, so they can get their electricians in directly behind the framers, which is pretty cool. You can see it's a super, super tight. I mean, that's not, like, if I pick at it, I can peel it up. So this is not, they didn't glue this or anything. It's just the regular tape, and it's perfectly sealed. Let's see, I don't know what's in here. I don't know, but not leaking water. Uh-oh, I broke the door. It's their Advantech subfloor adhesive. Take it easy. Check this out. Who remembers these? Wow, look at all these stickers. These are sick. That's a good sticker haul. Sashco is doing a color mixing contest. Tim's gonna film me doing it.
Did he spin the wheel?
Yes.
We got birthday suit.
Oh.
We got birthday suit.
Okay, that's the one I had. So get ready to lose.
Here's your competition.
Oh, kind of.
That's a thumbnail.
Give it a good shake.
It's pronounced Euler. Yes! Yes! I'm definitely hairier.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. We have 2 minutes to get into our birthday suit.
A minute or a minute and a half or 2 minutes depending on how hard the color is. And if you
We can use it.
Red really comes a long way.
get it mixed a little faster.
Look at the
There
intensity.
you go.
There you go, there you go.
He's really
Keep going,
going.
keep
Mustache hair is trembling right now.
Yeah.
going. And so you can
These are frozen samples. We're done.
All right.
How'd you do?
All right.
Not as bad as I expected.
Wow,
Not too bad.
you got
Not too
kinda
bad.
close.
Got kind of close.
Good work.
So fill this out so we attach your name to this work right here. Perfect.
Put your social security number on there for your
Yeah.
followers.
Yeah.
653.
I think Jared surpassed Tim on that one. Sorry, Tim. You're gonna be our runner-up for the moment.
Now I get one. You can be a photo. this is a tough call. Which of these do you think is closer to that?
I think we gotta move the incumbent down.
What? You're moving me down?
Oh, we put Tim down a notch. Oh no. Runner up.
I will rise up.
So you know it wasn't
Face off. Dude, you're all geared up. You got the gimbal, the mic, you got it all.
just, yeah, I mean, it's keeping it easy, dude. The shotgun rules, bro.
Yeah? Here at the Badger Occidental booth. They got a bunch of sets here. It's pretty sweet. Yeah! The camo sets, some gun hooks. These are super heavy duty webbing. And I like this tapered fit too. These are pretty cool. Got the Mexico flag, United States flag. All these attachments, the all blacks, straight up emo mode. The black and red Oxy lights. Oh man, those are pretty. Pro pouches. They really have upped their game. This is cool. So this is called super fabric. So these are almost like little ceramic beads. So this is actually like a hard plastic. So you'll never fray that. You can put as many racks of nails in there. It'll never wear it down. This stuff is called super fabric for a reason. They got these guys. This is a new like clip-on trim nail pouch. I actually have a few of these. I like to put my 15 or 16 gauge nails in here. Or actually that's a lie. I put my 18 gauge nails in here and I put my 23 gauge nails in this front one. So I can run a micro pin nailer and a regular trim gun at the same time. Got foam pouches, calculator pouches, whatever you want to call it. What's cool about these pro pouches is all the different sizes. This one's more like a bucket. There's no clip on it, but there is a spot for a carabiner. This one's a little more shallow and a little wider. This is perfect for like coils and nails. That's what I love it for. Taller one, great for a water bottle. There's these little clip-on tape pouches that are nice too. Even more. I mean, yeah, they're so stacked. It's really awesome. Got the hammer sleeve, cat's paw sleeve. Those are total game changers. I'm really glad I put those on mine. On the Occidental side, got these cool clip-on pouches, phone pouch, tape pouch. I really like this gun hook actually. Wonder if I can go home with one. Little clip-on, or this is a belt, multi-tool thing. Regular, good old leather belt for your pants. And this is pretty cool, so check this out. They've got the vests with clips here, so you could, using the suspender clips, you could hook your bags onto them, or you can use the clip-on accessories like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they've got some sweet stuff here. Full sets of bags for sale. Over here, just a little bit away from Occidental, is 1620. And they're doing this giveaway with Badger at the show, which is pretty cool. I'm not totally sure what the prize is, but it looks like at least a set of bags. They've got all their stuff out here. They've got sweet button-ups.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, their embroidery and branding stuff is awesome. You see lots of stuff like that. Acrobus does that as well. They've got Acrobus sells these hoodies, which is cool. They've got the button snaps instead of strings, so you're not getting sucked into your grinder. Then they got the different fabrics too. They've got the this Nyko, I believe it is. Stretch Nyko. What else? The Dura Stretch. That's super nice, super soft, extremely stretchy. It's like insane. So it's really different. This is more like stretchy, breathable. This is more like you can slide around on the back of a truck and it won't wear through. So ultimate durability, and that is more what I would say ultimate comfort. So they've got all sorts of different fits. These are kind of like, you got the cargo pockets on the sides. This is more like a, this is almost sort of like the Carhartt similar style. And then these are super cool. I like that style a lot more, just a casual, kind of like a Dickies deal. And these are cool too, cargo as well, but with that stretchier material, and it's got the zipper pockets on either side. Super nice stuff. I love their t-shirts too. Our CCI t-shirts with the yellow checkers that we have are 1620, and I like those a lot. And these guys are just awesome too. Super cool. Super nice, and they just really believe in producing a good product, so I'm a big fan of them.
Running, you got both of these going down. Now, depending on how porous the material is, if this was painted, it'd be sealed for better, you won't lose a vacuum. But even with just bare wood, you just grab on, I'm literally taking the whole table.
Wow.
And shaking it. So like when you think about if I'm going to run my saw on this, that's held plenty for me to firmly.
Wow.
It's a lot stronger than you would think. It's all off of a little pump right under here.
And the pedals to release?
Yeah, so press and hold it, so it's going to release that vacuum pressure.
Wow.
So if this was pre-finished, and you don't want to, you leave the pedal so that the vacuum can start up again. Now this one here is, I'm coming out with a newer version of this whole design that will have like a screen, just more version 2, call it.
Right.
But it's still going to be the same. This is a portable version that we'll just put on the wall. Now there's different attachments. This one is for the angle of the crown.
Okay.
So if I put 2 of these on here, and I set this in the corner of a wall, I can set my crown right into that. And it's like a hand just holding it.
Right.
Not only that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So this, you can
just put it on the wall.
Oh.
And it's because of the portable pump, you have your battery on here and it just runs. I have a metal plate that goes on here. So if you vacuum this wall, take a laser for marking around.
Yeah.
You can literally stick it onto that without having a pole to set your laser on.
They're good on
Yeah, when you hit this, flipping down, it's got a full stretch. Anywhere you place this on the table, it'll reach.
Crazy.
You want someone to do it?
Oh no, I'm just going to show the screws here. So we've all seen the truss screws. There's a couple manufacturers of these, but Spax makes them too. And I just ran one into this. I'll see if I can put that clip in there, but they're uncoated and it drives super smooth. The slotting, like the machining on this, I don't know if that's going to focus, but it just fits good. They're not going to strip out, and yeah, I'm really excited to try these. This is interesting. These are interesting. Is this like lead or is this more like a crayon?
I want to say it's more like a crayon wax. And then they also have the pencils. That one's a carpenter style. If you look at the lead.
Wow. Now that I have not seen before. I'm a fan of that. I'm going to end up getting one of these for sure. I'm excited to try that.
They don't have to have their own account.
I want to make an appearance in my exclusive Build Show Live video.
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
Something amazing.
And scene.
I'm over here at Weaver Tool Gear. They make American-made tool bags. Got some pretty decent priced made in the USA leather bags. Pretty nice stuff. This caught my eye. This is a suspender system with like a camelback on it, which is actually pretty cool. I forget to drink water at work all the time. I feel like that would be totally beneficial. They've got all sorts of different scales, more entry level bags, but still, American leather, made in America, decent stuff. These are cool too. They got super fabric. We saw that at the Badger booth as well. Sort of that like ceramic pill kind of material, so that won't be scuffing and wearing. And then kind of the hybrid leather and super fabric combo, which is pretty cool to see. But they've got a decent selection here. Definitely worth checking out for sure. All right, well, today was the first day of Build Show Live. It was really awesome. Right now I'm at an event that Occidental, Badger, and 1620 are putting on, Made in USA special event at the Austin Speed Shop. This place is super cool. It's basically a hot rod shop. They're rebuilding, refurbishing, I don't know car stuff really, but just old, sick cars. So I'm gonna shoot some video here because this is just too cool not to show you guys. And then yeah, we'll get some free 1620 gear and some free food and some free drinks. This is they're just letting anyone come to this. They sent out an invite, so next year when you come to the show we can hang out here together. So walking into day 2, this company is called Rotoblast because Robert and Thomas Bloss started it. They've got some pretty cool structural stuff. Think sort of like Simpson style stuff. I mean, first off, look at this. It's a freaking lightsaber of a screw. Pretty impressive. What is that, a T? What size head is that? Like a T? 50 something? Yeah, it's pretty wild. But this is what I saw that I thought was really, really cool. So this is like their rigging system. So you can see this here, that's over a screw actually. A structural screw. It goes into these 2 plates, but you can flip up that tab and it'll slide right off. But that weighted tab, I mean, that makes it so it's not gonna, no matter how you jiggle it, it's not gonna come off when it's rigged up, and it won't, you can't get it off unless you manually grab that tab, slide it up, and you're good to go. And then you could either, you know, take your screw out and reuse it, or just sink it the rest of the way if you don't feel like doing that and you want to spend more money on screws. Another cool thing, they've got sort of like the truss screws, like what a Simpson or Fasten Master makes. Here's a little bit thicker gauge one. This is an 8-inch, so they have different sizes for different applications. I like using these for timber work a lot, but this is a little bit thinner gauge and it's a deeper slotted screw. I've had some issues with the head stripping out when I've used different brands using those. So this would, in theory, drive a lot easier. Obviously this is down a little more, so this is more stud to top plate than it is top plate into rafter or trusses. But those look really cool, and one of these guys actually lives in Denver, so he said he can bring some of this rigging stuff for me to try out, which I'm very excited, because we're probably going to be getting a tower crane here soon, so these are going to be really, really cool to use. So anyways, yeah, these guys are called Rotoblast. They're super cool stuff, and they've got way more than just this too. They've got some cool braces. Where's that? That's in this book over here.
Go. Aluminum lightweight braces.
Yep, you can see, so they can fasten up there, they can pivot and attach onto the side of a stud. And they're telescopic, but I mean, yeah, that's super cool looking. I'm really excited to try that too. So, and yeah, I mean, just look at these structural screws in general. They look pretty awesome. So anyways, yeah, thanks for letting me check it out.
Thanks for stopping stopping by.
I've got like 45 minutes to check out the next several booths I need to film at. So another booth that I saw earlier that was pretty awesome is the U2 Fasteners booth. I'm back.
How's it eating a burrito?
Nope, no problem. I got the spiel earlier, so I'm just going to show it off to the camera. So there's a couple cool things they've got here, but this is the coolest one. So check this out. You've got a screw there, a little auger thing at the top there, but this top part spins independently. So here's what the driver for that looks like. You've got this that can slide in there, and then the head will drive the full thing. That'll lock it in, but then you can take this off, so then you can spin the screw inside independently of this. Can you kind of show me how that works with this?
So it's for replacing shimming when hanging doors. So if this is your door jamb and that's your rough opening, pre-drill a 5/16 hole, use the crown and bit tool to drive it in, and when you take the crown off, that's going to spin the inner shank, and that's how you get your distance on your door until your door is square. So
that's really awesome.
Once your door is square, you can hide that behind the door stop or the weather stripping. So if there's ever movement on a new build, you can just peel back the weather strip and do a fine adjustment until your door is square. So 3 per side, 6 per door.
That's awesome. Yeah, these are super cool. So I'm definitely going to get a box of these to try out whenever we're setting doors. I really hate shimming. Maybe I'm just bad at it, but I think that'll make it a lot more idiot-proof, which I'm super stoked about. They've got something kind of similar for vinyl windows as well. It'll kind of go through, pop through the hole, and then lock in place. And then same thing, you can adjust it in or out. So that's a pretty cool product as well. Another booth, you guys probably recognize this brand, RR Buildings. Timmy has used these before. This is Beck Fasteners, Beyond Fastening. They've got nail guns, obviously. What is this, a positive placement nailer, cordless positive placement nailer. Some trim guns, but here's one of the really cool things they've got. Check these out. These are called scrails, and for an exact reason you would think, which is they're screws and nails combined. So these can be used as framing nails. He was saying that a lot of panelized people like to do that because sometimes they'll pre-assemble stuff. They want to take the screws out so they can move the walls. Or just in any scenario where you can see yourself moving panels, that could be useful. This coating, he was saying, is, I mean, this nail's never going to want to come out. It's basically a super intense ring shank nail. These are a T15 bit up top. These are just a 15-degree coil scrail, so you can put that in any 15-degree framing nail and that'll work. So here's the scrails they've got, and they've got a drill.
And then this tells you how many boxes of scrail you need for the scrail. But yeah, so I can send. I'll have them send you some information. I actually make one also with a blunt point. It's we call it splitless. So we use it for wooden decking.
Oh, so if you were going to top screw decking, you could shoot it.
Wooden decking because all that stuff's green, so you don't want to split it.
Another thing I've thought of trying, these are 6 1/4-inch nails. You guys have seen our 6-inch 60D nail detail we have to do in basement walls. I wonder if we could maybe double up, because these are a little bit thinner gauge, and do maybe 2 nails 32 inches on center, or 1 nail every bay, and how that would work in our basements. But I don't know if that's necessarily worth buying a whole tool, but it does pique my curiosity. These guys are pretty cool. Atlas Insulation. They're making integrated insulation. They're doing these for roofs and walls. Where's that one with the gap in it, with the little styrofoam thing?
Yeah, everybody likes that one.
Did someone break it apart?
I dropped it and broke it.
Oh, man. Yeah, check this out. So this is starting to get popular in Colorado because our energy codes are really increasing. But this is literally all one panel, so you can get a full sheet of this. It's got your insulation, an air gap for airflow, and then your sheathing on the outside. So you obviously need a longer fastener to use that, but this is really a cool product. And then they've got all sorts of stuff. They've just got their continuous foam insulation. This is pretty common to see on an exterior, and it's got the WRB on that as well. You can tape the seams. This is really cool stuff. That's pretty popular out in Colorado, so you'll probably see us use it at some point. Something else I'll say too, which they didn't want me to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. They make the foam for zip-R panels, actually. So it's kind of fun fact. One of these guys here over at Tight Bond, they said they'd give us $20 if we can pull this apart. Do you want to be my camera person for a second?
Yeah.
We'll see if I'm able to pull this apart.
Okay.
He said he'd give me $20 if I can, which I already know I can. We'll see. I don't even know how to do this. Ooh. Yeah, that's pretty wild. And this is literally brick to wood, but I mean it's nothing. It's super flexible. It's actually pretty stretchy. And me and Kevin were saying that's kind of a cute little brick. Anyways, no $20 for me. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Sorry.
Here's another cool booth. Facro. These guys have got some pretty cool, innovative attic accesses, which is not super common, but it's pretty. You see a lot of framers installing those, but in particular, this one here. That fits in a typical 22.5 by 31.5 attic access RO. This thing's like a 85-pound unit, I think he said. And yeah, it just telescopes all the way down. 300+ pound capacity. And you could literally retrofit this in a pre-framed attic access RO, which is pretty sweet. So I'm kind of thinking about getting one of those for my house so I can utilize my attic storage a little more. They've also got some really nice skylights. We did a private event at the Delta Millworks shop. This is some of the highest quality milled TNG I've ever seen. Super, super nice stuff. Definitely check these guys out. Weyerhaeuser gave me a hat. So we're gonna go hit the job site tours now. Matt's got a new build going up, and we get to see his personal house too. Been hanging with Kevin, Raven Builders. Got the gimbal out. So dialed in. Well, we're heading to Matt's job site now. I think they're just about ready to start drywall is basically where they're at. They've got windows and siding up, I'm pretty sure. But seems like everyone else wanted to go to Matt's house, because like his personal house, because there's not really a crowd going this way.
We're going to job site. We're going to be on site.
That's right. I'm trying to zoom in on all the shiners and all the everything that's done wrong that we can find.
We're looking to identify.
That's right.
We're looking for uplift. We're doing an inspection.
That's right. We're
doing an inspection.
Expose the corrupt Reisinger. This is the Reisinger project. There's a couple cool things. I guess this project was built over an existing foundation. The original house was scraped, and then they built the new one on the old foundation. So that's why you might see a couple things that where it looks like the foundation is not as good of quality. It's because he was working with what he had with this. So all the flat work is topped. You can kind of see that seam under the slab. Same goes for the garage, I believe. Dude, look at those shoes. Sheesh. Dude, you busting out the shoes for the site tour? So you can see they've got the zip-R on the exterior. And then this, you would say, is subfloor, but which it is. But this is actually double 3/4 overlapped over 2 inches of foam, and this is their floating wood slab, which is pretty cool. I'm a carpenter, so I'm always an advocate for more wood. Look at that, ripped plates. Oh, shiner alert. But that's above and beyond for framing. That's cool to see.
Exterior wall 102. This is the elevation page of exterior wall 102. This right here shows you all the components, and then it gives you the cut length of every piece that is in wall 102. This bundle right down here, this is exterior wall 102. These are all the parts and pieces of everything that we cut for this wall. So the windowsill, the sill cripples, the jack studs, all that is right in here. The headers were in a separate bundle, and the bottom plate and top plate were in a separate bundle as well. But the rest of this wall is right here in this bundle. So you basically picked up the bundle from the job. When we were on the slab originally, we marked with a black marker E102. So instead of having your sawyer out in the front yard cutting all the parts and pieces, now he's simply grabbing these bundles and putting them where they belong in the house and just keeping up with the framer. Right? You don't want to get too much out ahead of them, but you just keep them moving, right? Keep them moving. So these are all the different parts and pieces that we put together. I look at it and say, if I can keep that framer moving and he's being productive and being efficient and he's making money because he's moving through the process, not sitting and stopping, pausing, having to figure things out. So, but this is the wall, and then this is a book that we send out to the job site. This has the layout of this wall. Again, there's E102 right there. You're looking at this wall. Right here it is. There's the bundle. And the other thing, let me see if I can find it here real quickly. Again, there's E102. This is a book that we send out to the job site. Again, it matches this, but this is all how it comes out to the job site. Every wall in this house is done that way.
So this house was framed with a ready frame system, so you can see the printed layout on these plates. So what's interesting that Terry was saying is it only adds like $1,500, $2,000 to a project, to the lumber pack to get not only the plates pre-labeled, but to get these bundles of pre-cut, basically anything other than a pre-cut stud, trimmers, cripples, sills, all that stuff. So that's pretty impressive, and you guys know I like to do continuous layout on the houses. They can do that as well. They didn't do it on this one. You can see this interior is just 15 1/4 and go from the inside of that exterior. But if I wanted to, I could have it be 15 1/4 from the outside of the 2x6, which is pretty cool. Another interesting thing with this girder here with the trusses, looking at this from here, I thought, uh-oh, they need to still add their hangers. But actually, you can see the truss designers put in this ledge here. So once they nail their 2x4 ledger, I'm sure there's a nail schedule. Oh, you know what? It's a structural screw schedule there. They can just set their trusses right on top, toenail them to the ledger. That's delightful. I hate hardware and hangers, so skipping that by doing that is a win in my book for sure. Here's the kitchen cabinet blocking as well. They use 5/8 sheathing in order to leave some extra room for the insulation, and yeah, pretty interesting. Craig jigged on that. I've thought about doing blocking like this. You could use a stucco nailer, 1-inch crown staple, and just run it down both sides. Makes a quick and easy install for face blocking like that. Jake Bruton actually had a great idea too. If you just notch your studs and just do a lead-in 1x8 all the way across, much quicker, much cleaner, and actually adds a decent amount of strength to the house too. The deck on the outside. Look at that. Skirt board notched around the tree. That's pretty wild. So just square edges on the corners. Kind of interesting. Not flashy, but it doesn't look bad. What does the deck expert say?
Well, I would say either we had a bad cut here or we're settled a little bit because the fascia's opening up on the stair. They also cut this in place and just like ran the saw right into the picture frame.
Oh, I see
I'm not
that.
a big fan of. But I think they're definitely way too tight on that tree. You got to leave that tree some room to grow. You got to give that bark some room. That's not open for the tree to be that tight. And yeah, I'm failing this one, bud. This one's a total fail.
I will say the miter down at the bottom here actually looks pretty cool.
There's one 4x4 holding up the entire end of this deck.
One?
Dude, look.
Wow.
Is there one over in that other corner? With a massive cantilever over here. See it in there?
Dude, it's no 6 foot over 10 foot.
What is happening here? And I don't even see if it's on footing or what. It's just, it looks like it's in the ground.
Got the LVL stringers and the 1 1/8" subfloor on that for the risers and the treads. That's going to be a stiff set of stairs for sure. So a big reason why they have the pressure treated bottom plates is because this is technically still a house on a slab. You've got your double layered subfloor, but you'll see some of these walls are notched to run low into the floor. So those are sitting directly on footers, which is pretty cool. See, this wall's got the up and down noted on the plates. That's because this is a staggered stud wall for sound isolation. See, there's your down stud. This is your up stud. These are 2x4 studs on a 2x6 plate. Uh-oh. Bat down. Please nobody kick me out.
You can just change that stuff. Yep, totally. Well, actually, we've got a couple weeks.
Gotta be careful. Drywallers gotta be real careful of that. I don't think I've seen a blimp in years.
I think they're going to start throwing like basketballs out of that thing or something.
Now this is Matt's personal house, actually. So they basically got it staged like it's a house listing, and he's letting us walk through it and check it out. There we go. The tours officially conclude the build show. Got to see Matt's current project, his personal home, and we get to see what the empty convention hall looks like too, which is pretty cool. But I know they're going to scale this project up. I got some insider info that they're planning on doing stuff more geared towards tradesmen and even specifically towards framers and even more specifically towards young framers in the next year. So I may be lucky to be a part of that. We'll see. But either way, the show was awesome. I'll definitely be coming back. I hope to see more of you guys here next time too. And yeah, I hope this was beneficial and you enjoyed watching it. And yeah, catch you on the next one.